How I got into sales. I actually did do it a long time. I knew I would do sales in high school, basically. You kind of look at people and you can tell if they are good with people or not. And I didn't want to be the person that wasn't. And I listened to these entrepreneurs, I listened to the bosses, I listened to the guys that had the companies. And one thing across the board, they were very different in certain ways, but one thing across the board was they all were good with people. So I said, okay, if I want to be that person, if I want to be the entrepreneur, the successful person, the guy that actually makes money, I have to go learn the skill sets to do that. And that was as simple as it was for me. And so I said, okay, what's the first step? Asked a few people, they all said, learn how to sell stuff. I said, okay. And as soon as I had the chance, I did it. It was pretty easy for me.
So would you say you've been kind of set on being an entrepreneur early on?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had too many ideas to where it drew me to something that, yeah, I've always wanted to do that. It's not even something that I understand necessarily why, because my parents weren't like that. But I just saw the writing on the wall. If you want to be successful and make a lot of money, own your own stuff. And I wasn't a genius. I just copied the wheel, and I still am, and listened to people that had way more money than I did. Just tried to copy what they were doing.
So when you graduated high school, obviously you started church mission. What were you thinking initially? Were you thinking, I'm going to go get a degree and then be an entrepreneur, or I don't know about a degree because I want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I grew up in a household where I was told to get a degree. Funny thing is, neither of my parents had one, but they told me to go get one, and so that's what I had heard my whole life. That was kind of your typical route to go, especially in the church. They teach education, and I think education is great. I think learning is great. But I went on my mission, loved it, got back. I did have a plan to go to school. I actually made a specific goal. I said I would go for 1 year. I would do the full college experience. I would go to the parties. I would go make all the new friends. I would do anything and everything a college kid did. And I got back and I did exactly that. And it was fun and it was cool, but I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And that was the one thing that made me drop it. So I dropped it after a year, and I've never really been mad about it since. I think, again, school's great, but I didn't know why I wanted a degree. And if I had any degree in the world, I would do nothing different. And that was kind of my mindset on it.
Fair enough. What's one lesson from sales that's carried over into the rest of your life?
Aspect of sales, a lot. Sales is people, and people is happiness, people is joy, people is success, people is family, people is friends. And so if I learn people, which is how to communicate, sales is just a form of communication, I knew I would be happier. And I mean that. I genuinely think that learning sales or people and communication will make people happier. And I don't think there's really too much to it, other than I think everybody wants to be understood and understand. And if you can ask the right questions, you will not only be understood, but you can also understand.
I like that. Can you share a moment when communication made or broke a deal?
Oh, yeah, a lot. There have been plenty of times where I made mistakes and I was learning, and I still make mistakes. There's some, I guess, a sales examples. I'm in houses a lot, and when you're in a house, you have all different personalities, cultures, how people approach a process. Some people are way more stubborn, and some people are a lot more relaxed. And my job is figuring out how to